Grand Rising. Welcome to Healing Hype Man. Message of the day. You already see the title. Let's dive in. This collective message. Take what resonates. Let the rest flow. Let's see what the context of this is going to be. This card is calling my name. Three of Swords. With the devil at the bottom. Interesting read. Alvin typically doesn't pull cards like this. Welcome to Healing Hype Man. We're talking about pain. Now, Three of Swords and Devil cards, some of you are like, oh my gosh, what is he talking about? I'm looking at Chiron because I'm like, oh, this is wounded energy. This is wounded energy. This is attached to things that remind us of pain. Typically when things come back, things come back, Venus retrograde, and Aries. The reminder of this time in your life. Some of you might be in this. What is this? Very painful emotional space. Experiences that you were tied to, attached to in a toxic way, in an aggressive way, you see, I'm like hesitating with words here. It's an energy of being tied to something that was painful. And Venus, anytime Venus goes retrograde, right? Yes, can things come back from the past? This retrograde Venus, planet of love, the planet of romance, the planet of value, the planet that rules the beauty is in retrograde. I know I'm hesitant with my words here. Is when it goes retrograde, it's about let's reevaluate, let's relook, let's reconsider our belief behind love, romance, how we value ourselves, right? So the context of our reading here is going to be about that time in your life. Let's take a look at that. What about this? What about these times? For some of you, it's very different. Some of you could be romantic. For some of you, it could be workplace. Some of you, it could be just an experience in your life that once brought you pain, that you were attached to, that you felt chained to some degree. Right, so tell me why this is here. Could have been a very fiery time in your life. Could have been with a fire sign. I want to say that. That's not relevant. It doesn't matter who it was with. It just happened, right? So tell me why this is here. Wow, Ten of Pentacles. Queen of Wands. Well, it's here. You know what this reminds me of? It's here because, right? Why it's here? It's here because you're different. You're in a space that you're very confident. Your commitments have changed, and you tend to notice in the world of those that are aligned, that are in flow, that are in a state of flow, that are connected to some degree. When you get into a state that confidence is also coming through here. When you get into a state where things are different and you feel like you've regained your power, you've turned pain, oh my gosh, into power, right? And now power versus force is a big topic of conversation. It's a book that I'm reading, actually, Power versus Force. The past might like to come in just to see how powerful you actually are. Right now, if you do happen to have people, places, and things from this past time that want to come and pay you a visit, it is an opportunity, if you get that opportunity, to stand your ground, to remind yourself of the commitments that you have, right? I don't see this being the time that you get back with this. Now, this would have to be on the table. I'm going to let you guys discern this, right? I don't think I have those people that want to get back with this here. But it is a time for you to set in place, set in stone, thinking of a gem being set in stone, right? more concrete. This is a very concrete commitment. It's an opportunity for you to reflect on how far you've come and where you were. Look where you are now. Look where you're headed towards. Standing in your power, committed, dedicated, abundant lifestyle. Being able to tap into your creative juices, right? You wouldn't be creative if you weren't watching this here. Leadership qualities about you, right? How you navigated from something like this into an energy, how you navigated from third-party relationships, from things that you just weren't happy with, tied down to toxic ties, commitments, and vows, things that once brought you pain. You're able to either forgive or look at it from a different lens and understand that learning lesson and look where it brought you, right? Why this is here, because it's just highlighting where you are now versus where you used to be or what you're trying to get out of, right? What you have the potential to go into for some of you, right? If you were to take control and take that leadership and find a creative way to remove yourself and shift your commitments, shift what you value, right? Venus retrograde is how you value yourself, less about other people. Because it's an Aries, it's more about the you. How you value yourself, what you're willing to put up with, who you allow into your space says a lot about your ability to put boundaries up or their lack of. From a protective space. Okay, what do we need to know about this? What do we need to know about this? Cards want to talk today. Ace of Wands, Knight of Wands, Three of Wands. Wow, beautiful progression here. What do we need to know about this? Wands is beliefs. Wands represents the beliefs, right? Represents passion, represents fire. And talk about fire here. Also, let's talk about, I'm going too fast, and now I have to think about what I'm doing, right? What do we need to know about this? Here's the Queen of Wands. Perhaps what we need to know about this is how you got here, how you can get here. With the big stick. How you get there. Well, what sparks your interest? I can't even preface that enough, especially for those of you that might be starting this healing journey. What sparks your interest? Oh, I watched a reading and I really liked the way that made me feel. Ooh, go dive into that. What was the context of that reading? I really like this thing that I've been studying or I'm looking into, and go down that path, right? There's a spark, there's an interest, there is a new desire, right? Venus retrograde in Aries, things that you desire, your values, what you value. There is an impulsivity and a going after energy here with the Knight of Wands. And then the Three of Wands is taking place, where it is about, you are procrastinating to some degree, and the advice when it comes to this card is it's time to make moves, right? You've been planning enough, and now it's time to make a choice. It's time to pick a boat, and it's time to go, right? So there is, my direction to you is just go, just start, just go. Ready or not, here you come. Ready or not, here you went, right? For some of you, if you've already done this before, what we need to know about this, I would also say it's time to keep going, right? It's time to put those passions to work. It's time to put those desires to the test. It's time to invest, Page of Pentacles, and start to invest in these things that you are being drawn to. Do I need to clarify the past? No, I'm not clarifying the toxic lifestyle. As I cough here. We don't need to go down that path here. All right, so then what's coming next here? If I'm going to go after the things that I want, so there's something here that's calling my attention. There is a passion, there is a spark. Let's see what that's about. Right? Maybe this might give you some confirmation. This part might not be here for everyone. Okay. It's not really confirmation when the Two of Swords wants to come out. Well, it's not about what you're thinking about. It's about how it makes you feel. Two of Swords. It's not about the logical component to this, because logically you already know that that's the best way to go, right? In this context, in this reading, that is the best way to go. You might have other opportunities or other things that you might be weighing out. Either one is an opportunity and it is a good outlet. And it is a direction that you can go, right? So I'm not here to say what it is. I'm here to tell you that you just need to feel that out and see how it makes you feel. Logically, it does make sense to remove yourself, absolutely, to remove yourself from this and go after things that spark your interest. Like logically, does that make sense? Yes, but right, circumstantially, everyone's in a different position to make those decisions. Can I make those decisions, right? Let's keep going here. Nine of Swords. What could this be about? Well, if it's causing you anxiety and sleepless nights, I guess that would be an indicator that it's time to go after these things that you're very passionate about. There is a lot of worry about this, and there's confusion. The moon. Okay, this is like a rock. Like you actually don't. I mean, it's interesting because my question was, what is this about? And it's like you actually don't know. What is this thing that I'm going towards? What is it? You actually don't know. But it is causing some panic, some worry, which would tell me that you're in alignment with that. So if that's the case for you, energetically, fearful and scared to do something that's going to change your life is a great place to be in. And I'm pausing for a second because I say that because I hope that is what you take away when you come to Healing Hype Man, and you listen to Alvin for however many minutes he talks for and connects through, that change is possible, that doing the thing that scares you the most is going to bring you relief as you continue on. I advocate for people to do the thing that scares them the most if it's going to be beneficial for their life. Yet I know you can't see it, but it's better than where you are, right? I hope that you see that you can turn pain into power, that you can turn pain into a confidence booster for yourself by transmuting it, going after the things that you like, the things that you desire, the things that you are passionate about, the things that you are curious about. And while you might be at some sort of standstill or indecisive energy, or it might cause you worry about, am I making the right decision? Well, any decision at this point is going to be better than what you're coming out of. So in a process of elimination here, we might not have the answer, but at least we know we're in the right direction, right? So being in a place that's confusing about making some sort of shift or change in your life is a better place than feeling stuck in this or still sitting in this. And while I know that everyone can't just get up and go in that way, you can make small efforts into the things that you like and how you value them. How do you value these things, right? Let's say you're still in this here. Okay, I can't leave this quite yet. Okay. So then are we perusing through social media on these things that spark my interest. Right? Some of us might not be able to go after the thing that we like, but we can at least glance and look and peruse and read and understand and study. And while we wait for the right moment to then say, I'm out, I'm doing it, I'm jumping, I'm going, right? Some of you, it could be a work thing, like, oh, I'm so scared to do that thing. Whatever is coming, it's so interesting just seeing this. It's like, wow, you really don't know. Like, nervous as fuck. like, oh my gosh, am I about to do that? Oh, that rush for some maybe consuming with anxiety. That rush for some may be very exciting. And the intention behind this is that it is exciting. It's an exciting sense of nervous energy. It's like a, whoa, what is next here? My question is, do you have faith? Do you have faith that you'll land where you need to land, that it'll work out in your favor, or it will go in a direction that will take you on a journey, right? There's the next journey in your life. Right? We're all about journeying, right? If you can see that from a broader... Traveling. Welcome to another journey. You don't know where this path is taking you at all. It's foggy, it's dark, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. You're headed towards the light. There's momentum in that direction. You're going in that direction. This is a good card to kind of give you a visual perspective into going down a windy path. First of all, the fact that you're at the top of a mountain, I'm like, I don't even care where it's going. Take me there, right? It's going to take you somewhere where people might not have been there before. You've probably never been there before. This is like a high-level overview of like a journey, like what you're coming out of, what you're going into. Some of you, what's coming next for you. Tell me what I need to see. Success. Wow. Exhaustion here. Some of you might not think that success is possible because you are exhausted here. I would say if you were willing to go down this path, if you're hesitant to go down something that lights you up and that sparks your interest, there's a decision that you have to make that brings you worry and confusion. I'd say you're in the right place. Right? Before we exhaust ourselves, let's look at how far we've come. I would say this. Which one of these would you rather be in? Some of you might be tired of sitting in this exhausted energy. Feel like you're consumed by robots or stuck in a metal box that doesn't have a signal, doesn't have a frequency. But you have a window so you can peek through. And feel a sense of accomplishment. Just by making a shift in your life or changing some aspect of your life, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment. And while these things may come back, and for some of you, you might have already gone through this, and you're like, well, I've already been through that, but these things keep coming up. They always will. And it's not necessarily a test to see like, oh, are you going to go back to that? Or are you going to dabble back in that? It's more here to test your resilience and the skills that you've gained in order to discern what's for you and what's not for you. You know, when I have a client that comes in, it's like, oh, I had a good week, I had a bad week. Oh, I had a good week, and then I had a bad week. And then, oh, well, it wasn't a good week, but not every week's going to be a great week. Not every week's going to be a fantastic week. And the point of doing the work on yourself and finding out what you're capable of and figuring shit out is part of life. Every week's not going to be a complete 1,000% great week, right? You need those moments of pressure and those moments of some of you guilt, right? So then to test your resolve to see, like, are you guilty because you set yourself free, or are you guilty because you left people behind that weren't good for you? Are we thinking rationally, or are we distorted thinking to some degree? Distorted thinking very well can come because that's how I was raised. I don't leave people behind, even though we don't have to leave them behind, but we can leave them in place while you go on the next adventure. Guilty for doing what's best for you. I do messages for self. If you have a problem with that, then this isn't the place for you. I'm not trying to bring your whole posse with you. Sorry, they're not invited. They don't meet the minimum qualifications for self-awareness. That I don't have the capacity to carry the burden of someone else and other people and your crew because they want to stay where they are. That's a choice that they made consciously or unconsciously. And my choice is consciously to let that go without holding on to guilt, because it's not your time, not their time. The door's always open. I never close the door behind me. Maybe I will out of protection. I take that back. And here are the 3 cards from the last reading that I did on Instagram. There's a shiny light at the end of the beach. You've changed, you've transformed, transformation, lightning bolt. You see the light that's being lit here? You're heading towards the light, right? You are walking towards the shiny colors, right? You've had aha moments and thunderbolt moments of things that have woken you up in life. Right? You're willing to go down paths you cannot see, but you know what? We're innocent, and like children, the most innocent ones in this world are the ones that suffer the most. Yeah, and that's life. So if you don't like that, then let's talk about acceptance here, right? But that allows you to transform into a different version of yourself, into a more powerful version of yourself, a more self-aware version of yourself, one that can have boundaries, one that likes themselves. You know how many people don't like themselves? I didn't like myself until I was like hitting 30. Never realized that until like later on. I was like, oh, wow, I actually didn't know my worth. I didn't know my value. What people saw from me is not what I saw of myself. Even to this day, what I think of myself is not necessarily what people think of me. And that's part of that transformation, is that we look one way, but we are perceived to the world another way, and how we're viewed to spirit is another way. And we're constantly having light bulb moments, thunderbolt moments, and then we integrate those findings into what we want to do next. And that's the awareness that I'm talking about, right? Are we feeling guilty for leaving people behind that don't want to integrate their findings? I'm going to leave that there. Let me know your thoughts down below. My name is Alvin Catalan. I'm present. I'm done speaking now.